So today, here is another video for you guys, and it is the second video that I will be uploading to my channel. And probably in this video there will be no specific trigger or like there will be no any specific trigger to the very typical in a ASMR video, but rather this video is like where I would like to share and to talk with you guys more, so that the viewers of my channel will be able to get to know more about me, and like getting personal, I guess. So first of all, it's very likely that if you are watching this video, a lot of people might be wondering, then why is this guy not whispering? And to be really honest, I have always preferred soft-spoken ASMR videos compared to whispering ones. There's nothing wrong with whispering, but personally to me, soft-spoken video always gives me way more tinkle compared to whispering. And I know that is not just me, and actually there are many people who prefer soft-spoken videos over whispering ones. So perhaps I will do a lot of video in which I will speak softly and I will not be whispering, because that's just the way I prefer. Okay, so let's get to know me, okay? First questions might be in your head right now is that, so where do I come from? What is my nationality? And I actually come from Vietnam. I am a Vietnamese. However, I have lived in Japan for 7 years. 7 years ago I came to Japan to study abroad, and I just graduated from university and just began working here in Japan. And when it comes to Japan, a lot of people knows about big cities like Tokyo and Osaka, but actually I'm not living in those cities at all. I have lived in Nagoya City, which is located in Aichi Prefecture, since I first came here in Japan. It is not as famous as Tokyo or Osaka or Kyoto. It's still a pretty nice place to live and settle in. I actually had the chance to move to Tokyo and Osaka several months ago when I graduated from university, but I decided to stay here, well, at least for now. We'll see if I will change my mind and there is other opportunity, better opportunity that will show up in the future. We will see. But for now, I'm living still living in Malaya. Okay, so strictly related to country and nationality, many people might be wondering, so what languages do I speak? Or how many languages do I speak? And to be really honest, I'm not bragging, I'm just being really honest, and I would like to share with you guys about a little bit about me. I mean, like personal trivia. And because I come from Vietnam, so of course my first language is Vietnamese. Yeah, that's obvious. My second language is English. My English is not perfect, it's not good at all. And I never consider myself never consider myself to be able to speak perfect English, like really, really good English, like native level, flawless proficiency. No. I'm still a person coming from a non-English speaking country, but fortunately I had the opportunity to learn English from a pretty young age. I started learning English from since I was 5 or 6 years old, if I remember correctly. I'm not speaking perfectly, but my English proficiency is serviceable, I guess. So if I ever happen to run into a native English speaker, maybe coming from America, Australia, or England, probably I have no problem in communications and understanding what they try to say. Also, I can read and I can write. Just my English reading and writing skill is serviceable, I guess. So English is really okay, pretty okay. So I can use English in my daily life, or in working in the working environment, without any significant problem at all. So that's fortunate, I guess. So finally, because I've been living in Japan 6 years, 7 years, so it is like obvious and natural for me to be able to have at least some level of Japanese. And to be really, really honest, my Japanese level is still really, really bad. It's not good at all, and I still have a lot of trouble trying to understand the native Japanese speakers, especially when they speak quickly, or when they talk about a rather sophisticated or complicated topics. I can get by in casual conversation, but quite a lot of time, when the topics of the conversation is getting more complicated, I actually have trouble, getting 100% what they are trying to say, and I'm still trying to improve on my Japanese because living in Japan, the better your Japanese is, the better the quality of your life here in Japan. I'm telling you the truth because even though like having good proficiency of English for example in Japan can be considered a advantage. However, relying on English alone can only get you so far in Japan, and a pretty good level of Japanese is a must here in Japan if you want to, how to say, I'm not trying to say survive, but to have a reasonably good life without much stress here in Japan. Working in Japan is, as everybody have already know, is pretty tough with a lot of stress. But yeah, if you have a good proficiency in Japanese, your life is going to be better. That's fact. Alright, so that's enough about nationality and language, I guess. Next, moving on to what do we usually talk about when we get to know each other? I haven't decided specifically the contents of this video, so my apologies for that. Alright, let's talk about hobby, I guess. Everybody has many hobbies, but to me, the biggest one and the one that I can talk a lot about, I mean talking non-stop about, is video games. I am an introvert, and a typical introvert, and video game usually goes hands in hands pretty well with each other. So yeah, I love video game, but video game is really broad topic, and I have a lot to talk about. So in the extent of this video, let's talk about the game franchises that I love the most. I play on consoles and I play on PC. I even have a Switch. So to me, like the platform, so the conversation and the debate in which platform is better, is the best. To me, it is irrelevant. Gaming is about enjoying the games regardless of where you play the games. You can play the games on PC, and yeah, on PC usually you have better graphics, you have better performance. Or you can play the games on console, which is usually restricted to 30 FPS. So even the latest generation of PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Many new games are just released nowadays. The latest console cannot do any better than 30 FPS. But to me, it's irrelevant to the enjoyment of video game. So, my favorite game franchise. First of all, Mass Effect. I can consider myself a long time fan of the Mass Effect franchise. Yeah. I actually first started playing Mass Effect 2, not Mass Effect 1, not the first one. I played Mass Effect 2 first, and then I came back to Mass Effect 1, and after that I played the last one, Mass Effect 3, and the trilogy of Mass Effect has always been my favorite. To me, it is just perfect. Perfect characters, perfect storyline, perfect graphics. In the era when they were released. Combat, well, the first Mass Effect was kinda rough around the edge, but from Mass Effect 2, BioWare managed to refine the combat to a pretty good level, and Mass Effect 2 and 3, the combat system was really enjoyable to play. So, combat system is actually pretty good to me personally. And the soundtrack, perfect. Yeah, I really love Mass Effect. The character, the world building, the storyline, the lore, every single details, the attention to details that the developers they put into their games to create a universe that feels really lively, really lived in, and with memorable moments and believable characters. If you have ever played Mass Effect, you will understand what I am saying right now, and you will never. How can you forget characters like Garrus, Liara, or Tali if you have ever played Mass Effect? So that's my favorite franchise of video game. But Mass Effect is still a AAA title, a AAA franchise. Let's move on to indie games, shall we? I actually started playing and running into indie game quite late. It wasn't until around 4 years ago that I started playing indie games, and that was all thanks to the Nintendo Switch. Before buying the Switch, I played a lot of games, but all of them were AAA titles, like Assassin's Creed, Mass Effect, as I already told you, Gears of War, and Doom, Quake. But since I got the Switch, my perspective about gaming got expanded tremendously to, I have never played indie games before getting the Switch. So when I first picked up the Switch, and as with most of the people, I started by playing Zelda Breath of the Wild. Then I started, tinkering around the Nintendo eShop, and guess what? I saw a game on sale, a game that I consider to be one of the most important, one of the most engrossing experience, one of the most memorable games I ever played to this day, and maybe for the rest of my life. Can you guess what game it was? Hollow Knight. Amazing game. And with the Switch, the experience of playing handheld in a portable device, and then occasionally put it in the dock and you can play Hollow Knight on the bigger screen. It was a really good experience, to be honest. And yeah, the indie game was rather popular before the inception and the release of the Nintendo Switch. But to me, the hybrid nature of the Nintendo Switch, you can play game as a handheld device, or you can play game as a home console. It just bolster the, it just goes hands in hand so well with the indies games, and the indie game scene just exploded after the release of the Nintendo Switch. And I will never forget the experience I have with the Switch playing Hollow Knight. The world building. To me, I'm a sucker of world building in video games. I can tolerate pretty average graphics, but if a game have a really extended lore or very complicated world building, then I'm 100% in for that game. And Hollow Knight just did that really well. The world in Hollow Knight, even though it is just a 2D game with pretty simple graphics, but the world, it feels, again, live in, and it feels good playing the game. It's really immersive, even though I just play it on a 7.2 inches screen of the Switch. A 2D game, very simple graphics, but it felt really immersive because the world, the isolated world in Hollow Knight, was built beautifully, perfectly. I really love that. It was a really challenging yet enjoyable experience. One of my favorite of all time, and I've been waiting for Hollow Knight Silk Song to be released. Hopefully, we get it this year. The developer, well, has been really quiet about Silsong, so I have no idea if there's any trouble or not, or can it catch up with the plan of releasing the game this year or not. Hopefully they can make it, and so I and a lot of Hollow Knight fans out there can immerse into that world again, even better this time, because they have experience working on the first title, so they will be able to improve a lot of things, a lot of rough around the edge elements in the first game to improve the second game. I really want to talk more about video game, but for now I think it is enough, and yeah, so it has been a rather long video, and I'm sorry for not giving any intentional triggers. Well, after all, this channel is meant to be a ASMR channel to provide tingle, to help you guys relax. But I promise I will make many videos with pretty good triggers to give you guys more tingles in the futures. Sorry for talking for a really long time in this video. I actually would like to talk more, but yeah. But I think there should be a video where I can introduce myself somewhat properly, so my viewer can understand, what kind of person are making the videos that they're watching on my channel. So I've just get started, so a lot of things really not really perfect, really rough, really primitive compared to other ASMR channels on YouTube. I understand that clearly. I try to do my best, try to improve in the futures, so hopefully I can have your support. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I see you guys in the next video. Really sorry. Yeah. それではここまで終わりましょうか。ありがとうございます。またね。